Hey everyone, I'm Bryce, and the video that I'm conducting today is an analysis of the specific honors thesis that I have been studying the past few weeks. Before I explain my honors thesis, I just want to express any preconceived notions that students have or fears that they might have when mentioning an honors thesis. First off, it's a very daunting task, just because no one really talks about the inside details of an honors thesis, and no one really explains really how to get it done when you're starting college as a freshman all the way through about junior year. No one really explains the nitty gritty of what a thesis really is and what it takes to complete it, and so kind of leaves that mysterious factor that leaves kids kind of questioning, what is it? Can I complete it? Is this a doable task? And also the amount of pages that is required. There isn't a set amount, but on the Honors College website it says that it's an average of about 30 to 40 pages, and so for any student, doing a 8 to 9 page essay is pretty challenging. Let alone doing a 30 to 40 page. Um, and so that pretty much gets kids shaking in their boots even when they hear the word honors thesis. And this one kind of pertains to me as an electrical engineer. See, when I hear honors thesis, I only think of like liberal arts terms or any philosophical topics that are expressed in a thesis. In most honors theses, never something really technical or in the STEM field. And also, when you're doing an honors thesis, I feel like people think that you need to be smarter than what you think you are, um, and you feel like you might need like a PhD basically to write a valid thesis. However, that isn't the case, and also most importantly, I feel that given that the quality of resources that you might think are invalid, you may want to try to find like someone in person, someone with like a super intelligence like Elon Musk or Albert Einstein to help state any sources or any topics that you can find. However, it could be in a standard textbook that you find online. It doesn't have to be something extremely honorable or extremely high esteem to express and make a valid thesis out of. And then lastly, I think that most kids just think that it's a very impossible task to complete. Um, just like I said, based off the mysterious factor that comes with an honors thesis when you're starting off as a freshman, sophomore, junior in college. Um, this kind of seems like this giant impossible mountain that you can't climb, and that kind of shies a lot of kids away from not only completing an honors thesis, but also maybe even dropping out of the honors college itself. Next up, I am presenting the thesis that I've been studying, and it's titled the Computational Modeling of the Rat Hippocampus for Improving Neural Stimulation. This is by a student named Andrew Gilbert, and this is an honors thesis in the technical field of specifically electrical engineering, which same major that I'm in. And so this thesis is more used to first off talk about the issues of any degenerative diseases such as like Alzheimer's or dementia that can affect the human brain, specifically the hippocampus, which is a section of the brain that helps produce thoughts and emotions and memories. And these diseases basically damage the hippocampus, disconnecting the parts called the CA1 and CA3 of the hippocampus. And that can create any long-term physical effects and memory loss, as well as cognitive function. And this thesis is more of a solution to what scientists have recently discovered as a neural prosthetic that can help restore memories in the hippocampus. However, this newfound prosthetic it hasn't released yet for human use, just due to the unknown voltage, the voltage current levels that the threshold of the voltage current levels that haven't been measured yet, and we don't know if are safe to put in a human brain. However, the lab reports have been conducted on rodent hippocampuses, when impaired, have shown to have a lack of spatial learning and recall, much similar to its human counterparts. And so this is where this thesis came into play. The student has come up with the idea of creating a 3D model, essentially, of a rat hippocampus, both in a slice model and a 3D whole model. As you can see, the slices on the bottom left and the 3D whole models on the bottom right. And those will be used to test basically any test simulation parameters of its cell and neuron responses to any electrical simulation that will be produced by this given prosthetic. And then this idea would basically overall just be used in the further development of this prosthetic. And eventually, it will complete its task, fixing brain tissue that was damaged by cognitive diseases, and eventually, hopefully, get that into human hands for use. My overall analysis of this thesis is that, of course, it's not like one of those liberal arts essays or philosophical essays that I was discussing in the beginning. It's not used to like entertain students or provoke any thoughts. It's more used as a proposal to any scientific or engineering or medical organizations that might want to use this idea to enhance the prosthetic that they have discovered. And overall, the central claim that was made through this essay uh, is basically saying for any major group to use. It's basically just proposing this idea to any major group to use in this computer generated model to help understand the overall electrical interaction between this neural prosthetic and the right hippocampus. And just like I said before, this is a proposal idea. So it's not set in stone or something that this student has created. And so there is room for other scientists and engineers to kind of build upon this idea, and sort of put this computer generated model into action, and start to test any test parameters. And I feel like this thesis is well supported just through numerous mathematical proofs. For one, there's a method they use that they base their whole essay off of. It's called the admittance method. And essentially, what the admittance method is that it mostly just it helps initialize sort of a class or a section to store the location of each neuron segment in the brain, in the hippocampus specifically, and eventually will loop it until it's able to read the next current file. And so essentially, this will make up the bidirectional communication basically between the prosthetic and the neuron. And I felt that this admittance method was kind of used as a seminal text, just from where this thesis draws its finding from. And I would say for the formatting is very unique. I thought it was in the MLA format, which is odd because most electrical engineering papers are usually in IEEE format. And same for the citations and bibliography. The citations, they also seem to be in MLA format, given that the dates published are at the end of the source. And for the bibliography, however, unfortunately, there was no bibliography provided. However, a lot of the sources do seem to be widely accredited, and to that, there's probably many students that have used these to cite them, use it to cite for their own essays. And the abstract that this thesis contains, it conveys the topics of each chapter and section very well, I feel, whether talking about the 3D model, the creation of the 3D model, or how they even get to thinking about how using rat hippocampuses can, be a direct parallel to fixing human hippocampuses. They talk about each section in detail and describe it thoroughly in the abstract itself. Overall, after just studying this thesis for a while, I had a few final thoughts that I thought I'd share. And the first one is that this is a very great essay for a building block, basically, just based for the foundation for brain tissue healing technology. This can be utilized in such an important manner by any scientist or any engineer who wants to actually use this 3D model, to get started on testing and further developing this neural prosthetic to hopefully get into human hands. And this thesis also taught me that as an engineer myself, I need to rely on just like well-known and scientifically proven sources and texts, just because a lot of these theses that are in electrical engineering and any engineering, basically, they're all grounded by the science and how it's been proven through numerous tests and experiments and trials, basically, to show that what they're doing is tried, tested, and true. And I feel it's a very important topic, one of the most important things you must do in order to write your thesis is to find a topic that really means something to you. I feel like people won't give their all if they're doing something that they don't really enjoy. And so just find something that means something to you, whether it's using an airlift to make some type of airlift mechanism to help disable people, maybe because you have a relative who's disabled, or find something to build like an LVAT wire with, to maybe expand upon the LVAT wire, make something more technical out of it for maybe someone with a heart condition that you might know and that you might care about. Find something that you really care about and that means something to you, and use that as your motivation to write this thesis. And then lastly, I think this might be a little unorthodox, but I think you should just build connections with your honors advisor. For this student, their honors advisor that approved this thesis, his name is Neil Cotter. He's the honors advisor for electrical engineering, so he's also my honors advisor as well. And when I see him, I talk to him like a lot. I came to him whenever I had a class with him. I asked some questions. I always talk to him. I come in, we talk about life. He loves The Simpsons, oddly enough, but so we talk about The Simpsons a lot. And he asked me how lacrosse practice is, and I feel that over the time I spent with him, I'm not just a number. I have a face to my name, and that way that can help push your advisor, to help fight for you more when they're in your corner, because when they approve this thesis, they're basically in your corner trying to help your findings and overall just approve your essay and see if it's valid or not. And so this will only strengthen their support for you. That's about all I have. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good day.